everybody. On this episode of Pit Stop with Traffic Jam Jimmy, we come down to Ocean City, Maryland, and we visit Seacrets, and we take a tour through the distillery.
The truck that you guys just used to clock in is actually from 1914, and Leighton bought it on eBay. Now, super important, Leighton's two favorite things in the whole entire world are eBay and gin. Alright, so I think we can all kind of picture what happens when those two things come together, right? Yeah. So we actually have $2 million worth of antiques in this building, and guess what? Over 90% of them are from eBay. These right here behind me are 1,200-pound doors, and now I'm about to open them for you guys with just one finger. You ready? Ooh, Hey, there's nobody on the other side pushing it, right? No? This is just pure straight. Yeah, not really. The doors are actually perfectly balanced, making it super easy for us to open them, close them, ship our pallets in and out of the room. And actually behind that door right there is our loading dock. So it's really easy for us to open the elevator, put the pallets right through the door, onto the truck, ship them off. We ship to Maryland, Delaware, Northern Virginia, and parts of DC. As of right now, that is it. We're trying to expand, I promise, but for now, you'll just have to come on back here. And right up above Parker's head there on the cubbies, you can see all of our products displayed with the awards that they've won. Believe it or not, we here at Seacrets have actually won 42 major national liquor awards. Which, hey, I think is pretty cool because for one thing, we're super small, right? And for the other thing is, we just opened 4 years ago, right? So I think that's pretty crazy. Please don't go counting the medals. We just won the last one a few weeks ago. Hasn't shipped in yet, but I promise, 42 is our number. And right up there on our break wall, we've got 3 liquors displayed. Those are our most awarded. Our Spiced Rum #1 with 8 national liquor awards. Following closely behind is our lemon drop vodka and our gin. So if you guys don't know what ones to taste today at the end of your tour, those 3 are our winners. Can't go wrong with them. However, I'm going to be talking about a lot of our spirits today throughout the tour, and I've been told I can be very convincing. Alright, so don't be too solid on your choices. I might have to change your mind, alright? This is the first room I'm going to be talking about today, and if you haven't figured it out yet, this is where we keep our ingredients, right? But before I get talking about the stuff behind me here, do you guys remember those big red, white, and blue silos on the outside of the building you saw coming in? Yeah, well, guess what? Y'all just walked right through them. Yeah, they're not real. Gotcha. Right. Well, that's actually because when we opened, of course, we built these silos with the intent of putting our corn and our grains here for our products, but quickly found out we're actually located so close to the ocean, the salt water and in the air from the ocean would just dry everything out. So unfortunately found out we can't store it here on campus, but we got a place in Bishopville, about 10-15 miles down the road across the 90 bridge there. Not too far at all, but that's where we store our corn and our grain that we use for our products here. Anybody here like spiced rum? Anybody? A few of you? Okay. Well, you guys are in luck. Spiced rum is pretty much what we're known for, right? It's our most awarded, as I said, downstairs, and it's also our best seller. And you guys came at the right time because we have not 1, but 2 limited releases of our spiced rum right now. Our double barrel is actually the same as our original, just aged a little bit longer. And our coffee spiced rum, amazing. We use real Jamaican Blue Mountain coffee we get from our local coffee right down the road near Acetique down there. They brew it for us, and we add it into our spiced rum. But right behind me here, we've got all of these buckets filled with ingredients. These are all for our spiced rum. And I'll go through them. We got nutmeg, crystallized ginger, cloves, cinnamon sticks, and pure Madagascar vanilla. Right? Oh yeah, this is the good stuff, okay? And this is 1 gallon of it in my hands. And if you guys like to bake or like to cook a little bit, you may know that just a bottle about this size in the grocery store is about 50 bucks. So doing the math real quick, this big gallon in my hands cost us about $350 per gallon. But our gin is different than any gin you guys have ever had, and that is a 100% guarantee, because we are the only distillery in the country where our gin starts out as a vodka. Pretty different, right? And there is a reason for that. It's because Leighton's wife would not drink it. No. Yeah, not because she didn't want to, but because she couldn't. She's allergic to gluten, right? So Leighton said, hey, I'm making my own gin anyway. Why not let my wife drink it with me? And by doing that, our gin is a vodka, meaning it is 100% corn. And our ingredients are right behind me here: juniper and coriander, of course. angelica root, and elderberries. What you don't see up there, we also add mango, papaya, lime, and orange peels. The machine works automatically, hands-free type of deal, hammering that corn down and dumping it into our super fancy plastic bins here. And actually comes out looking a lot like beach sand. Right, so after it's done in here, we load it onto the elevator, we take it downstairs to the next step. But we do still use this antique scale to weigh out the corn. So, you know, Layden loves his antiques, loves to put them to use. So we do still use the scale. So I know what everybody's thinking. Haley, why are you taking us in here? This room looks boring. All right, I promise you there's an actual reason I'm showing it to you today. Also, I am from Baltimore. Don't make fun of me too much. This is our washroom, right? Yeah. And on that side of the room, of course, we've got the washer. Now, the reason I'm showing you this room, the reason it's super important to us, if you guys didn't know, unfortunately, Ocean City doesn't recycle. And that really sucks, right? And when Layden opened this place, he really realized how much glass we were going to be going through. He hated that. So he came up with a little bit of an idea. All of these liter bottles right here that you see along here, these are the bottles we use over next door at Seacrets, right? Again, we have 20 bars over there. Every single bartender uses these to pour. Well, at the end of every single night, we actually get cases of empty bottles sent back to us from next door that we can run through our washer, sanitize, fill right back up, send right back over. So definitely helps out the landfills a little bit. We actually get about 40 to 50 uses out of each bottle, just until it starts chipping and looking kind of gross. And then, of course, then we do have to send them over to landfills, but we actually get about 25 cases of empty bottles back at night from Seacrets. And there's 12 bottles in a case, so I'm not that good at math, but if you guys want to do it, go for it. Definitely helps out landfills a little bit, though. My question for you guys, though, anybody here been into Ocean City on Memorial Day weekend? Anybody? I see a few people nodding their heads. All right, well, you guys know that it is crazy, right? It is madness. It's Ocean City's busiest weekend, kind of, you know, the kickoff of the summer kind of thing, right? Well, to give everybody a little bit of an idea of how busy it gets here at Seacrets, remember I said normal night about 25 cases? Yeah, that's nothing. And on Memorial Day weekend, we end up with about 200 to 250 cases of empty bottles back just in 4 days, just in that weekend, right? Now, if that didn't blow your mind, this will, because just in those 4 days, we actually make enough money here at Seacrets to cover every single company expense for the year. Yeah. Well, think about that for a minute, because not only are we the largest bar on the East Coast, we actually hold the number 11 spot for the top grossing bar in the world, right? But I'm not just talking about the bars, right? Because we got a bunch of other properties here. We got the nightclub, the distillery, the ABC liquor store, the radio station, right? Any expense for the year out of any of those properties, companies are paid for in 4 days. I mostly stress that because, as you can probably tell, things are happening in this room right now, and I'll explain exactly what's happening, right? So this is our still room. This is where the magic happens, right? So I'll explain the process, but before I do so, you guys can probably smell that, I'm sure, right? That's the smell of molasses cooking, because what we're getting ready to do is make some spiced rum here soon. Right, molasses is actually what we use as the base for our spiced rum. Right, so that's what you smell right now. Some people love the smell of molasses. I'm personally not a fan, but one other reason you can tell we have stuff happening is how hot it is right now. Don't worry, I'm going to try to talk fast. I'll get us out of here quick. But first step in the process, what we're doing here is we take all of that ground up corn upstairs, bring it down here. We're going to throw it in our hopper. It's actually located behind that big circular window. But don't worry, for those of you who can't see it, we'll see it better when we move back around as well. So, but that's where we're going to dump all of that corn in, 500 pounds of it, all at once. And that thing is connected to a chain link auger. That's that big purple tube. You can see it goes right through the wall here. And if you look real closely in that light, you can see the individual links of the chain. And that's going to bring that corn from the hopper right into our mash tun here. So what we're doing, first step, is to mix that corn with hot water. And we're going to cook it for about 2 hours, right? It's going to form a mash. We're going to take that mash, we're going to put it in our fermentation tanks. And those are all of those smaller kind of tanks. Near the windows back there, and I don't know if anybody here remembers high school chemistry or not, but fermentation, that's where the yeast is at. Right, and that yeast is going to be feeding on that corn or that grain, and it's going to be creating enzymes, creating a chemical reaction that actually turns that corn into alcohol, right? But not a quick process. It actually has to sit in there and let the yeast feed for about 7 days, about a week, right? It sits in there, right? And it's going to turn it into about 8 to 12% alcohol, so nothing too crazy yet, like a craft beer. right? But then we're gonna take the alcohol, we're gonna put in our pot still right here. This big guy is a 280-gallon copper pot still. It's also the reason why it's so hot in here right now. Because what we gotta do is we gotta heat this thing up to just under 212 degrees. That is our magic number because that's the temperature that water boils. But remember, we're keeping it just under 212 because we actually don't want the water to boil. We want the water to stay a liquid at the bottom of the tank, and we just want the alcohol to boil and evaporate. Right? So as it evaporates, it's going to turn into a steam. It's going to head up, go on up the head of the pot still. That's what we call this big column here. Right? And as you can see, we've got what we call checkpoints, right? Little glass pieces in head. Because as you can see, that big window right there, that's the room I'll show you later. That's where the guys hang out. They have a perfect view of this pot still, and they can see checkpoints where the steam is at, where the alcohol is at as it travels up. Because again, not a quick process. But this is when they know when to let it go and when to stop the distillation process. However, we've actually got to do this multiple times, over and over and over again, until the proof is around 180. Because every time we distill it, every time we push that alcohol through, the proof gets a little bit higher each time. Right? And until we read 180, they have a machine in there. They're going to take one of these guys, take it over to that glass piece, pull out the steam, pop it in their machine. It's going to take 4 hours and read the proof. So again, not a quick process, right? But over and over and over again until that machine reads 180. Then they release the alcohol into the copper lin arm up there, that horizontal copper tube. It's actually a tube inside of a tube because while the alcohol is traveling on the inside of that tube there, on the outside we actually pump in glycol to cool it down. But like I said, tube inside of a tube, the glycol can never touch the product, but it's able to surround it and cool it down, turning our steam alcohol into its liquid form. So now we have 180 proof liquid alcohol. Now, the last thing we need to do before we leave this room is perform a 3-point separation. And we here at Seacrets like to say we separate the heads, the hearts, and the tails of the alcohol, right? So all of those, basically the heads, that's the acetone and the methanol, which are normal components of alcohol, but they're the stuff that tend to give you headaches when you wake up in the morning, not feeling so good, right? Yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about. So there's actually a huge step that separates us from those bigger brands, because they actually skip this step completely, right? They keep them in, which it's not bad for you, but hey, it's why you get a headache off of the big guys, right? So all of their products have acetone and methanol. Ours don't. The reason they skip it is because we actually lose about 20% of our product every single time we do this step. But hey, it's worth it. Because I'm sure we've all had a few too many late nights on the big guys, right? Hey, you guys know what I'm talking about, right? A few too many late nights on them, you're not going to wake up feeling too well. Well, hey, I'll let you know, you'll never have that problem on our stuff because none of our products contain any acetone or any methanol. I definitely recommend the gin. It's so good. It's different, really. Our coconut rum's also really good, but you know, I definitely.